morning, bird brains. I am on my way back from work today. I had to take this road. I wanted to take you guys on a different road, kind of get you a change of scenery, but we had a guy jump into traffic and kill himself, unfortunately, so I had to take the same route. And it's kind of ironic that I mentioned that because I was going to talk about a really crappy day that I had last week, the one that caused a bunch of trouble throughout multiple days. One of the worst days I've had in a good long while. Looking back at it now, I can kind of laugh at it, whatever, but seeing someone, take their life, not only the guy that took his own life, I mean, he obviously had some demons that most of us probably have no earthly understanding of, but also he jumped onto a person's vehicle. I mean, I saw a picture of the truck. It was a Dodge Ram, and I mean, there was a big, huge indentation right in the middle of his truck. And imagine the person driving that vehicle probably had a worse day than I did on Thursday. But it's all relative, I guess. Let me just make it be known that I realize that I'm going to be complaining about a lot of first world problems, but it's kind of a funny story either way. Just let me set the scene and kind of rewind back to last week. So last week, it was after Hurricane Harvey had hit and made the impact. San Antonio was not impacted hardly at all. We got very little rain. We were supposed to see catastrophic flooding, but it did veer off course and pretty much just dumped all of its rain right onto the Houston metro area, as you probably know already. Okay, so unrelated to that, me and Miss Bird had gone out to dinner, and I noticed that the gas light on my truck, not the gas light, but the gas gauge showed that I was kind of low on gas. I say, no big deal, I'll just fill up in the morning, because that's usually when I fill up my truck, is in the morning on the way to work, because there's not a lot of people out, and I don't like to wait in the lines and everything. I just go up and, get gas and go. I also don't like to fill up on my side of town because it tends to be a little bit more expensive and a little bit more busy in the mornings. So I usually fill up in between my house and work. So fast forward to the next morning. I get up, I leave for work, and about halfway to work, my gas light comes on. So I think, okay, I'm going to stop at one of my favorite gas stations, which is about 3/4 of the way to work. Now, let it also be known that when my gas light comes on, I have about 15 to 20 miles, if that, once that gas light comes on. So I know that once it comes on, I need to get gas pretty soon. So I get 3/4 of the way to work, and I decide to stop at this gas station to get gas. I get out of my truck, go for the gas pump, reach in my back pocket, and realize that I, like a dumbass, have forgotten my wallet at my house. So the predicament that I'm in currently is I have no money, I have no credit cards, I have no cash, I have no way of getting gas. I can't go home because A, I won't make it home, and B, I don't have time to go back home and make it to work on time. So I think, well, crap. So I end up just going to work. I ask one of my coworkers when I get to work, hey, can you give me some cash? I'll just transfer you money into your account. He's like, yeah, sure, but no problem. So he gives me $10 because that's just what he had in his wallet. $10 is more than enough for me to get enough gas to get home, get my wallet, and then go fill up some other time. Well, about lunchtime, all hell breaks loose in San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas. There was a social media rumor. Well, it wasn't really a rumor. It was just stuff getting taken out of context and blown way out of proportion. So there was a couple of gas stations that ran out of gas because fuel trucks were not able to make it out of Houston, which is where all of our gas comes from, due to the hurricane. Well, that got transferred from a couple stations are out of gas to the entire state is out of gas. Go fill up your cars now. And that spread on social media like wildfire, causing absolute panic. So here I am with only $10, only about 10 miles of range left in my truck, and a absolute gas panic. So I start getting online and making calls to gas stations around about the time I'm ready to leave work, which is about 4 o'clock. So between lunchtime and 4 o'clock, a good portion, and I mean a good portion, of the gas stations in the entire San Antonio area had sold out of gas. I find a little gas station probably about 6 miles from my work, and I call them and they said they have fuel, but they're not sure how much they have left. So I say, okay, I'll be there, maybe. So I drive my truck, and every gas station I'm passing is just absolute mayhem. I'm talking cars like 20, 30 deep in each gas pump. I mean, absolute mayhem. So I finally get to the gas station I'm going for, and the line is probably 20 to 25 cars deep. But at this point, I really don't have any options. Like, I can't make it to any other gas stations. So I wait in line for 2 hours and 3 minutes. 2 hours and 3 minutes for gas. Literally just moving up one car, shutting my engine off. Moving up one car, shutting my engine off. And before anyone says, well, you're wasting more gas shutting your car off than you are leaving it idling, do your research. That's not true anymore. The only reason I know that is because I had to look it up because I wasn't sure if it was true. So I looked it up. With modern cars, now that they're all fuel injected, if you idle your car for more than 10 seconds, it actually wastes more gas than shutting it off and turning it back on. So 2 hours and 3 minutes go by. I finally get gas, and I'm only able to get $10, which is about 3 gallons. That's enough for me to get home, but by this point, it's about 6:30, and I checked my GPS. It's going to take me an hour to get home because of the traffic due to the gas panic and just it being general rush hour. This right now, what we're seeing here, this is only at 4:20. So yeah, I freaked out a little bit there. Yeah, 4:20. And you could tell it's kind of bad, but it gets so much worse after 5 o'clock. So I'm not going to get home until I expect it to be around 7:15, 7:30. This was the night that we were supposed to go out to the Scrub Cycles bike night, the event that I posted up a while back. So I have a group meeting at 6:45, kickstands up at 7. It's supposed to be about 6 to 8 people. I've been texting Uncle Ken all day, and I said, hey, you take charge, just take whoever's there at 7, head over there, I'll just meet you guys there. He's like, cool, man, don't worry about it, I got it, we'll see you there. Well, I get home at about 7:05. It actually wasn't nearly as bad as my GPS said it was. Plus, it rerouted me through some neighborhoods because Google Maps kicks ass like that. And when I get home, I check my phone, and Uncle Ken's like, hey, where is everybody? No one's here. And he was tagging people and all that good stuff, and no one showed up. So I was like, well, what the hell? I get home and I was like, hey, if you haven't left it, you can just meet me at my house and we can just go from there, because my house is pretty close to the normal meetup spot. He's like, yeah, I'll just meet you there. So he comes over, swings by, we head out, and I'm on the Sportster, and I get probably about 2 miles from the house, not even. And I'm telling this story, mind you, more on that to come, but I'm telling this story, and I look down and my gas light comes on the Sportster. And because of the tank lift and everything, when that gas light comes on, once again, it's very urgent for me to get to a gas station. But by this point, everywhere is out of gas. I mean, every gas station in San Antonio was out of gas. So I text Miss Bird, who was going to meet us there in the car, like, hey, grab the gas can in the garage. The Sportster's out of gas. She's like, okay, no problem. So I'm telling this story, and I feel like I told it better than I'm telling it now, just because it was so fresh, and I was actually on the ride, and I actually captured me, looking down and seeing the gas light, like, oh, what the hell? And then, of course, just general Uncle Ken shenanigans. And then we get to the bike night, and I kind of was bitching about how people said they were coming and didn't come, made me look like an idiot, yada, yada, yada. But I was like, you know what? We made it to the bike night. I got an awesome video, ready to record. Let's just have a good time. We get to the bike night, and maybe you guys have an opinion on this. When I go to a bike night, I expect it to be 90% bikes, or at least a parking area designated for motorcycles. This was not the case for the Scrub Cycles bike night. It was really just patches, like 3 cars here, 5 motorcycles, 5 cars, 9 motorcycles, a car, 2 bikes. Like, it was just, the whole parking lot was just scattered with bikes. Like, you couldn't actually just walk up and down the rows and admire the bikes or anything like that. So that was kind of off-putting. Then I realized that my phone was dying and I couldn't open my camera to record anything on my phone. So I go to record on my GoPro, and my GoPro had died. So I check my footage, and it only recorded 30 seconds of time after I left the house to start the episode. So the whole episode that I recorded I was just talking to myself basically. And that's frustrating. It's really frustrating because this isn't me forgetting to change the battery. I had put a brand new fresh battery off of the charger. I don't know if there was a bad battery or if I somehow like hit the button and stopped the recording, or I don't know. I have no idea what happened, but I got 30 seconds of footage from that clip when I was expecting about 15 to 20 minutes. So we spend a little bit of time there at the bike night, and my brain is just so fried. Like after waiting in that line for 2 hours with like literally just like my phone and like no AC, no radio, like I was just so over that day. We just went home, grabbed a bite to eat, and just went to bed. And it's just one of those days where it was such a crappy day with back-to-back crappy events that I was so glad it was over, and I was so happy to go to bed and just put a freaking nail in that coffin of a day. But every time I have a day like that, I like to look back at it, especially in retrospect, and just be so thankful. Man, someone is toking it up. It's got to be this car right in front of me. Not profiling or anything, but definitely got to be this car in front of me. Yeah. But just to look back in retrospect and just kind of be thankful and be positive that on the grander scale, if those little bitty instances can seem so large and destructive and not disturbing, disruptive, yeah, that my life is pretty damn good. Like, if that's the worst thing that's happened to me this month, everything's okay. And that's kind of what I want to leave you guys with, is just that positive note of take everything and look at everything on a grander scale. Like, yeah, you got a flat tire on the side of the road, but, you know, you went home to a nice warm bed, had food in the fridge. I mean, if that is the case for you, I mean, I don't know what everyone's going through, but I would assume that's the reg. And just be thankful for the little things, man. Like right now, like I'm riding home on a brand new motorcycle, and actually the weather's really nice today. We had a cold front move in, and it's only like 86, and y'all are gonna think I'm acting sarcastic because like 86 is still pretty warm to a lot of people, but it feels absolutely great right now. But yeah, I'm riding home on a brand new motorcycle from a job that I don't hate, and there's people in the Florida Keys right now that have just lost everything. There's people in Houston, not even three hours from where I'm standing right now, that have lost everything. If you're watching this video, just take 30 seconds right now just to think of the positive in your life, even if it's something small, like, hey, I didn't die today. Like, just be appreciative of the small stuff, guys. It really will make your life a lot better. Well, guys, I'm almost home. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.